Hello, Garifuna fam. Happy Wednesday. We are getting ready to go live with Chef Fresh from Fresh Taste Bakery. So just going to give y'all a moment to come on in. Everybody in the comments, let us know where you're tuning in from. I am your girl, Siria Alvarez, founder of the Garifuna Market. I'm super excited today because we are doing our Instagram live interviews. And today we have Chef Fresh. He's also a fellow Garinagu and he's doing amazing things. So I really can't wait. I'm really excited about this one. So come on in, guys. I'm giving y'all some time to come on in, pour in. This is going to be a really good one. So stay tuned. Stay in for like the whole thing. It's going to be really dope. All right. Where you guys joining us from? I'm in New York City. What about you guys? Where y'all at? All right. We got San Antonio, Texas on the live. Who else is here with us? Tell us in the comments where you tuning in from. I'm super excited today. Haven't gone live in a little while. I'm really happy. We're going to have a special guest. So it's going to be really great. Who else do we have here? Georgia. Georgia's in here. All right. Belize is in here. Y'all day is coming up. Miami is here. LA is here. What's good? Thank you for tuning in. Come on in, come on in. Oh, you can't hear. All right. Let's see. Can you hear now? Can y'all hear? Let me know in the comments if you can hear. Because if not, I might have to log out and come back on. Let me know if you hear me. All right, you can hear. All right, dope. All right, Mita, I don't know what it is. Maybe you got to put your volume up. All right, Honduras is on the live. Let me tell y'all what this live is going to be about. All right, awesome. Naples, Florida is in the building. What's good, y'all? I'm your girl, Siria Alvarez, founder of the Garifuna Market. Gonna do an interview today with Chef Fresh. He is a well-known pastry chef. He's from Harlem. No, actually, he's from Peekskill, from upstate New York. He's gonna tell you more when he joins us in a few. What's good, everybody? Thank you for joining us. I'm super excited for this chat tonight. We're going to talk with Chef Fresh. He's from Fresh Taste Bakery. He is a well-known pastry chef. He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. I'm very proud of him. He's a fellow Garinagu, and he's doing amazing things. While we wait, while you're joining us, share this live with your friends and family so they too can tune in and check out this live. All right, Chef Fresh is about to join us in a minute. Thank you for joining, everybody. This is going to be a really dope live. I'm super excited. Chef Fresh, what's good?
Good. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm great. Feeling good. Feeling great. Thank you for joining us tonight. What you up to?
I'm pretty good, man. Can you hear me good? Can you see me good? You know, these lives be a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I see you. I hear you. Everybody in the comments, let us know. We both look good. You can hear us well. All right, Chef, we losing you. Fresh, we losing you. What's good, everybody? Continue coming on in. We're just getting ready. Fresh is gonna rejoin us in a minute. Where you guys joining us from? Let us know in the comments. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have Chef Fresh with us. All right. You smooth now.
I'm good because everybody want to call me now all of a sudden. That's what's going on.
You gotta put that D&D on.
That part. But how you doing, man?
Doing good, feeling great. Everybody in the comments, let us know. You hear us well? You see us well? This thing a little delayed. All right, so I am Siria Alvarez, founder of the Garifuna Market. We have a special guest today, Chef Fresh, founder of Fresh Taste Bakery. And yeah, super excited to speak with you today. Chef Fresh has a really compelling and inspiring story. And we're just going to talk about a little bit about, you know, where you've been, you know, how you got into this point, your accomplishments, and just sharing the inspiration and your story, you know, with everybody here. So first of all, thanks for joining us. How you feeling?
I feel blessed. I feel blessed. My day is going smooth. I've been running around doing these deliveries and stuff like that, getting these carrot cake cookies off, things like this, getting ready for the holidays and stuff like that. So just staying busy.
Yes, that sounds really good. You staying productive, you on the grind. I love it. All right, so Fresh, let's go straight into it. All right, so you had a lot of customers from all walks of life, right?
For sure.
Things haven't been easy, you know, all the way through, and you have a really unique story to back that, right? So tell us a little bit more about, you know, what led you to where you are today.
Well, first and foremost, my name is Antwoin Gutierrez. I go by Chef Fresh. I'm the owner and executive pastry chef of Fresh Taste Bakery, which is an online bakery and dessert catering platform based out of Harlem, where we cover the whole 5 boroughs. I've been doing it I've been in business about 5 years. I've been a chef for about 9 years. I got my start in pastry when I came home from prison about like 10 years ago. I came home from doing like a 3-year bid, which is like my 3rd time going away. And I got into a work training program called Ready, Willing, and Able, which is in Harlem and in Brooklyn. And when I came home, I could have swore I was going to be getting into like construction and doing like painting and stuff like that. So like culinary arts was like the furthest thing from my mind. I had like no aspirations of this. I wasn't baking. I wasn't doing anything, but like literally like God blessed me like 8 months after I came home on April 12th, 2012. That's literally the first day that I watched the cake get made from scratch in front of me, and like everything was on from there. Like that's literally like the start of my journey as far as in the pastry world. Now my prior lifestyle, like you mentioned, I grew up in Peekskill, which is in the Westchester County, like Yonkers, Mount Vernon, White Plains, the 914 area. I grew up in the Bronx as well. My father, he's full Honduran. He's from Ediona Viejo. We from Cologne. He's actually out there right now currently. My mother's from Florida. She's African American. And I'm first generation Honduran. Like my father, my tia, they came over here with the Coyote people. Like, you know, they had to cross the border. My titi, she actually did it first. So, like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't actually be here. Like, my family wouldn't be here. So, coming from that background. But growing up in Peekskill, like, my father, he wasn't, like, he was there, but he wasn't, you know, always there full time. So, I kind of got caught up into just the things that went on in my environment, things like that. And I got into the drug game. And I started selling drugs at, like, a young age in my teenage years. And I was pretty good at it. Like, I was making decent money, but I slipped up a couple times and got like incarcerated, like for minor things. Like I did time on like the minor block in Valhalla, Westchester County Jail, did the adolescent unit, did another bullet, ended up going up north to New York State prison for about 3 years. I came home on 5 years parole. I came home when I was about 24 years old. And I had to figure it out because, like, at 20, I was doing the same thing that 30-year-olds was doing. And I just realized that, like, with 10 years worth of growth, they say you can become a millionaire. And I didn't really want to just waste my life and be 30 doing the same thing. So, like, I made a decision to actually try to do something different. Also knowing that I have 5 years of, like, category 1 post-release and how easy it is with the system to, like, recidivism and get incarcerated again, because I already did 3 bids, you know, before 24 years old. So I put myself in this work training program, Ready, Willing, and Able, just to actually get some structure with my parole, because, like I said, I didn't want to violate. I had a pretty stiff parole sentence, and, like, just the violation would have had me incarcerated again for about a year or more, and I really didn't want to give that time up to the state for free, you feel me? So I put myself in this program just to see what I could get out of it. I was thinking maybe CDL, maybe construction. And if anybody's familiar with the Doe Fund, like, those are the guys that you might see in Midtown and different parts of Brooklyn sweeping the streets, like, with the blue uniforms on with the garbage can. Like, I actually was out there doing that in Midtown. And from there, I had to decide, like, to actually pick a trade. And literally the only reason that I got into culinary arts was because I could eat for free. Because, like, in this program, we only making $90 a week. We get 3 hots in the cot, so they're feeding us and they're giving us room and bed. So they felt we didn't need too much money, and they were saving the rest for us to be able to get housing and things like that, possibly. So I found myself in this kitchen, and I literally was the knucklehead kid, like, running off, trying to skip work, all of those type of things, trying to really find my way. And, like, April 12th, 2012 was literally when one of the directors, just to literally keep an eye on me, put me with one of the executive chefs. And that's when he taught me, like, the creaming method. Anybody that's familiar with baking taught me the creaming method. He taught me the foaming method, which is how you start to make, like, carrot cake or, like, brownies, which is eggs and sugar whipped, you know. But the thing that resonated with me the most was the fact that since we were producing desserts and food in a high volume kitchen, like, the Doe Fund at the time was feeding like 400 men strictly, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I was in charge of making the desserts for them. So I'm literally making no less than 250 cakes, pastries, desserts, and things of that nature. So to produce desserts in such high volume, we're talking ounces and pounds, like, literally, like, 10 pounds of flour, 4 ounces of baking powder, 13 pounds of sugar, just to be able to produce that many servings. And just coming from this drug dealer hustler background, I felt like at home, because, like, in the streets, I used to be a crack dealer. Like, you know, I'm really regretful that now, because, like, you know, that was going against my community at the time, and I didn't really know no better. But I learned better now and was able to transform that with that same energy and apply it to pastry art. So taking what I'm learning and learning these recipes on ounces and pounds and understanding the chemistry aspect of it, which is the same principles that I did when I cooked cocaine in the crack, was actually now producing beautiful cakes and cupcakes and desserts. Because it's all a process. You got to mix, you got to measure, you got to process, you got to cook, and you get a final product. Same thing with narcotics. It's literally the same concept. So I'm really big on just transforming my hustle. So from there, like, I was making a lot of noise and Ready, Willing, and Able. Like, and it wasn't just that I was just feeling myself. Like I told you, it's 400 men that are eating this stuff, literally coming back, giving feedback, talking about, like, who made this cake, who made this dessert, talking about how good it is. And I'm a guy with 2 felonies, like 2 felonies, robbery and crack sale, like, which stopped nothing in my journey. And, like, I really pretty much was kind of locked in on my old path. Like, I still had all my old connections. I still had all my old relationships, but I was trying something new. And when I realized that I had this talent, I'm like, okay, let's see how far this goes. I ended up getting, like, a perfect score on my New York City food handlers, which is 50 questions for the health department. Aced that. Nice. I ended up taking my Surf Safe test, which is a national food and safety protection class. Out of 80 questions, I only got 4 wrong. So you're talking to a guy that, like, wasn't baking, wasn't cooking, but now trying something new and actually doing really well at it. So at that moment, I'm like, let me put all of this drug dealing aside. Let me put all of this street shit aside, and let me see where this culinary arts takes me. And like, literally at September 9th that just passed, I made 10 years home from prison,
Wow.
5 off for the 5 years parole without any violations, which is kind of unheard of. Like, I don't know none of my friends that survived 5 years parole that didn't at least do a 90-day violation, a 6-month violation, a new case. So for me to actually do that was just, that's something I pat myself on the back for. And then literally the same week that I got off of parole in 2016 is the same week that I stopped working. Now I worked with some dope places. Like, you talk about how felonies, they get in our way, they stop you from getting jobs. Like, I'm a firm believer it's the value that you bring to the table that gets those doors open for you. You know, so like my last 2 jobs was at like Gramercy Park Hotel, Mylino. I done worked for Steven Star Restaurant, like Upland. I done worked for Bouchon Bakery under Chef Thomas Keller, Zarro's Bakery, Pont d'Avion. Like, I do all the, huh?
That's amazing.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. I worked in hotels and restaurants and bakeries for 5 years while on parole, and all of that kept me focused. All of that kept me occupied. And just to add more to it, I had an ankle bracelet for 2 years, like, for no reason, like, no curfew violations, no new cases, no dirty errands, but just based off my conditions, I felt like, you know, parole was trying to make it real tough for me, but I stayed focused
You overcame that.
and I dove deeper into this culinary arts. Mind you, I have not gone to culinary school. Like, all I did was take 3 free programs in New York City. Like I said, one was Ready, Willing, and Able. From there, I discovered baking, and then I ended up going to Kingsborough Community College. Kingsborough had a program at the time called CUNY Career Paths. That's why I learned my savory skills, my knife skills, my flavor profiles, my heating techniques, like saute, steaming, braising, frying, like all of those type of methods. And then from there, just to keep my skills sharpened, because it was right after Hurricane Sandy and I'm working at Zarro's Bakery just mixing. I ended up going into another program, which I'm actually the president of, Rock United, which is the Restaurant Opportunity Center, and I'm also a culinary instructor there. So like all of the programs that I actually went through, I've actually been able to go on back to either be an instructor or just be an asset to them and just, you know, represent them wholeheartedly.
Wow. Wow. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Like,
And I've been busy.
yeah,
So like the
definitely.
other the other 5 years was literally like me just being self-employed and going out on the limb, because I would say the last year of me working, like I was working in restaurants, 40-hour shifts, 50-hour shifts, and fitting in customers on the back end, like literally having Bustelo in my chef locker for those late nights I wasn't sleeping, just to be able to stay up on the job, like really sacrificing. So when I stopped working in September 2016, I went full throttle. It was literally perfect timing. It was the holiday season. I felt like the demand was increased, and it got me through September to January, which is when I finally incorporated, like seriously, took it fully serious. I had no unemployment. I had no support, and I started my S corporation, not an LLC.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. All right. Let's take it back for a little bit, because I mean that was amazing. Like, your timeline is super motivating, and it's just I gotta even reel it back in. Like, so
Talk about it.
all right. So when you got out, you went into a program, you chose culinary, and you just started making food in bulk. So you're not even learning like little bits. Like, you straight.
I, I literally in the midst of that program, so they had other little small classes while in that program. We used to go to like Harlem One, which is the building right next to the Rucker Park across from Polo Grounds in Harlem on 155th. So I was going over there from Bushwick, Brooklyn, where we was residing, where the first program was at, going all the way to Rucker Park to take these culinary classes. And like, that's why I learned how to actually bake from teaspoons and cups,
Okay.
which is how normal people bake. But
Right.
I was taking literally off the scale. And like I said, that's how it resonated with me, because everything in the streets was digitally scale anyway.
So while you're learning how to bake, at what point do you realize that this is it? Like, this is your path and you want to really do this full throttle?
Well, when I was in the dough fund, I ended up like learning how to do sheet cakes. I learned how to make bread and dinner rolls. I learned how to make cornbread, buttercream frosting, like brownies, carrot cake. It was so much and things that I didn't learn since I was so skilled. They gave me the platform to actually learn it. Like I remember going on job search and going in a restaurant and they were saying like, "Hey, do you know how to make croissants?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't, but I'll learn." And I went back to the dough and I was like, "Hey, I need to learn how to make croissants."
Oh,
And really understanding how deep it is. Like at some point further in my journey, I ended up studying Benoiserie, and I'm really tight with croissants now and laminated dough. I know how to do that now. But at that moment, I wasn't all the way there, and the chef was like, "You can make croissants, but you got to make them for breakfast for 200 and some people." So that was the deal for me to get that exercise and that training, and I did it.
that's amazing. And you were able to like get all of these like amazing jobs that people typically get after decades of like education from a five-star school or something like that, but you learned it in a different way, but you still got through to that path, and that's amazing.
Well, I like to say, like, I learned how to bring the value to the table. I learned how to talk about my criminal background. Like just to give you a tip, like if you want a job interview, like admit your faults, talk about it initially, but make sure you got something good on the back end to shower with after that. Like yeah, you know, I made some poor decisions. I may have made this mistake and got charged with this, but since then, I've gone to school here. I've worked here. I volunteered at this place. I've made this type of accomplishments, and you leave a positive taste in the interviewer's mouth, and that's the last thing they hear. They go with that, as opposed to, oh, the last thing I did was commit a felony or things like that. So, you know, that's what I teach my students when they're job searching.
Wow. So when you say students, tell us more about that.
So I taught y'all how when I was in the dough fund, like I graduated from it, and for 2 years I worked in the New York City restaurant industry, like realizing that everything that I learned in the dough fund wasn't quite the restaurant world. It was just like a piece of it. And actually, when I got in the industry, I learned that there was so much more. And thank God for like chefs like Thomas Keller and Bouchon Baker, because they really taught me culinary etiquette, like how to make sure you like how I make sure I remain clean when I work, how to be a clean chef, how to put my cutting board in neutral, not to leave things messy, like, you know, just to be thorough about it. And in the midst of that, the dough fund actually called me back and they were hiring. And they were like, how would you like to come work for the place where you discovered your talent at? And it was a no-brainer. I was like, hell yeah, I want to go back and be able to teach where I came from. So I went there, had full creative control, and was able to teach the students who some of them were older than me. Like I'm 34 right now. I was about 28 years old. I was the youngest culinary instructor in the dough fund at the time. And I was able to teach these guys what they would really need to be in the industry, because I understand what you would get from there, but I understand what you also would need for the real industry. So I was adding some other source to their experience. And, you know, those are my students. And also with Rock New York, since I teach their culinary program and I've taught their savory program, I've had students come in different cycles and still keep in contact with me, go get jobs, come back to me as a mentor. Some of them even volunteered and worked for me, you know?
Yeah. That's really dope because you're combining your knowledge from the classroom and from real world experience, and
For
everybody
sure.
get all of that. So that's really like effective way to mentor and to teach. So I definitely commend you on that. Something else I want to talk about is you're really creative with your recipes as well. Like they're not just basic, they're beyond that. So can you tell us a little bit more about like some of your like your products and your recipes? You know, you have like super crowd pleasers with the Casamigos, and I'll let you tell it. I'll let you tell it.
So like right here, right? Like this is like a douce infused caramel cupcake. What you're seeing is like the caramel is made from scratch. That's why you see about to run a little bit. The buttercream is made from scratch. Like I'm an artist and I'm also a culinary chemist, so I don't take shortcuts when it comes to my recipes, when it comes to my desserts. Like I like to work with whole foods, like whole butter, whole milk, like not much processed stuff. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, like everything comes from that drug dealer background. That's why I do the most speaking when it comes to like at-risk youth, gang member, high school students, and just letting them know they can change their hustle. Like my man Shaggy's in here, gifted felons. Like I'm a gifted felon, like, and I represent that brand wholeheartedly. Like, and just show these youth that they not stuck in no box. Like there's transferable skills. Like if you could be a gang member and you the big homie, you got people under your influence, you could run 100-man facility. You could run a Fortune 500. Like you could have that type of staff and actually control it, you know? Same thing with a drug operation. If you could run a drug operation, you could run a whole business. So a lot of that comes into taking those skills and applying it to what I do. And I didn't take any shortcuts with my drugs and my narcotics. So why would I take any shortcuts and deal garbage when it comes to my desserts? You feel me? So everything y'all see, like these carrot cake cookies, they're handcrafted. Like I literally like hand toss these ingredients in here myself. There's a cream cheese filling in the middle, high quality, none of that great value, none of that cheap stuff. Like, cause like we sell experiences over here. So like that's my niche right there. And that's what gets the success. That's what gets the continued results. You feel me? Like that's what get people coming back over and over again.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. What would you say are some of your best sellers right now?
Right now, man, carrot cake cookies is my signature. There's tons of people. That's their addiction. That's their treatment. People probably would. Thanksgiving's gonna be crazy when it comes to those. Those orders is already coming in. Right now, my banana pudding is really popular right now. Like every time I make that, it super sells out. Like I really can't make enough of that. Of course, the alcohol infused cupcakes, definitely the casa, definitely the Henny cupcakes, like cupcakes with the shot bottles. Like if y'all Google Casamigo cupcakes on Google, y'all gonna see Fresh Taste Bakery come up, because that's my lane. Like you feel me? That's what I do. So things like that, like those are the real best sellers.
You a hit maker. That's what it is.
My artists, man. All these recipes is my songs, man. Everybody got their favorites. Some is platinum, some is gold. You know.
That's profound. That's profound. Can you tell us a little bit about like your fondest memories of, you know, the Garifuna culture or get the Honduran culture? Like, what are your like fondest memories about that?
Just growing up like with my abuela, man, Hilaria Ford, man, rest in peace to her. Like that's my baby right there. Like and like my people, we from Ediona Viejo, like over in Cologne and La Ceiba and stuff like that. You know, like that's where my people's originated. We still have property over there. We still have homes. We still actually go back and forth. I wasn't born over there. Like I said, I'm first generation. But like this is the culture, the music. I party with my cousins, like eating cassava and just certain little desserts and things like that, and just different food that like my grandmother used to feed me. Like when I was a baby, my first older cousins that came from Honduras, they were about like 10 and 12, and they only spoke Garifuna. They didn't speak any English, like living in the Bronx. And this is who I was with for whole summers, like at a time. I still was talking to them. I was literally talking to them before this interview, letting them know this is what I was about to do.
Did you learn a little bit of Garifuna, like how to speak it or anything like that?
Some of it, I ain't gonna lie, I'm more tapped into Spanish, like because my father, he speaks Spanish, English, and Garifuna, like. So I was more like, I felt like Spanish was more easier to pick up than Garifuna, but like we definitely got that culture around, and it's something that I'm tapping into more, even dealing with people like you.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn Garifuna as well. So
it's really rooted to Africa, like it's really rooted from the African language, like, you know. So that's a big part of us, like where we come from and that whole culture. So definitely shouts to that.
It definitely is. What would you say is your best accomplishment in your career thus far?
I don't know if I have a best. I got a few, man. Like honestly, like definitely surviving that 5 years parole was one of my favorites. Definitely surviving, making 10 years home from prison without any new cases, without going back. But making the #1 newspaper in Honduras, like La Presna Diario, like coming out in a 2-page Spanish spread article, like being able to pay homage to the cities and the towns in Honduras where my people was just from, and just be able to represent for us Garifuna people and let them know that we in America kicking ass and, you know, making a difference out here. So that's definitely like one of my top favorite, and that's for my grandmother. That's for my abuela right there, like, you know. So it literally came out literally like 2 years in the same month that she passed away. So I think that was fire, you know.
Yeah, symbolic right there, for sure. I was just gonna ask you, like, what do you feel like you do it for? Like, what motivates you? What keeps you going?
Well, at 28 years old, I realized my purpose in life. Like I realized that that God was blessing me with more success and elevating my voice and my platform to new heights and to be able to seen by more people. But the purpose of that is just not for fame. It's literally to be a voice and example for those that come from the same circumstances of the street life, of the misguidedness that I come from, and let them know there is another alternative, that they are not stuck, that they can take some of those same experience and do something positive with it. So like that's really what I'm here for. And yeah, that's what I do this for. Like that's my motivation. That's what gets it going.
I love that. What would you say are some challenges that you experience, past the bid, like more recently, like what are some challenges that you've overcome, in business or in baking, etc.
Well, accomplishments in business, man, like with challenges in business, I mean, every day, like I'm not only a baker, I like to say I solve problems for a living. You feel me? Like, because every day in entrepreneurship, people that's real entrepreneurs, they know we always solving problems. Things always come up. Excuse me. The biggest thing is pivoting and adjusting to your circumstances. So just being consistent, just keeping it moving, not quitting, because it's so easy to quit when things get tough. Like I like to say, if you got a goal, that's your navigation. It don't matter what storm comes your way, what obstacle comes your way, what type of hit you take. As long as you stay focused on your goal and the direction that you're going, and you're going to get there regardless. It may take a little longer, but just don't quit. Quitting is a choice. You feel me? But I want to say another obstacle because I've really been blessed. Like I've been able to like part of like Plush Vodka. Like I'm a brand ambassador for a black-owned vodka company. Shout out to them. Um, we were able to cater to NFL alumni brunch for the Super Bowl 2018. Like I've also been able to motivational speak in Rikers Island in the Ford building. This is with 2 felonies, being able to walk in and out of Rikers Island twice. I never did time there, but being able to walk in and just share my story, share my testimony, like those are all things that are positive. So like being able to speak in schools all across the 5 boroughs through Westchester County, Long Island, just be able to HIV clinics, I speak there as well. Just being able to get my voice heard. But one of the things that you talk about obstacles overcoming is like one of the main things is what the only obstacle I still say that I probably haven't overcome yet is like the last 4 years, the Food Network they've called me, they reached out to me. I've been reached out to from the Food Network about 3 times. But like they get excited for me, they hear my story, they love my skill level, but they are the only ones that still discriminate on my felonies, like from 2009. No one else has, no schools, no jails. I was going to do prison ministries with my church in Valhalla, Westchester County jails. Like God has really opened up super doors for me, but that one door has still remained to be closed, and it's all good. Like I just feel like I'm gonna just keep being relevant, keep putting my work in, and
I
there's other platforms out here, but that's literally the only obstacle. Like
Yeah. Wow. In due time, like I think like what you said in terms of like your whole mission and purpose, like I think it's coming true. Like it sounds like you've been a very motivating factor. It sounds like you're very inspiring, and I'm excited to see you continue to motivate and inspire and teach, you know. And I just hope that we could continue learning more from you, and the more that you learn and you share that with us as well, I think your story is super motivating. And in due time, everything in due time is going to come together as you need it to. Real quick, everybody in the comments, any questions that you have for Chef Fresh, drop it in the comments. Any questions that you have.
I mean, like I'm always gonna be able to share my entrepreneur thing, anything that I learned on my journey. And I mean, like I'm a big believer. Like some people they be shiesty out here with the information and the knowledge, and like I just heard somebody say they don't want to help another person start their clothing line, and I'm like, why? Like, what do you fear? You feel me? And it's like I'm also someone that doesn't really believe in fear. I believe in faith. That's another mindset that I use to get through this entrepreneurship journey. Like fear is a negative, and you can attract negativity when you are fearful. But if you faith driven and you believe in your accomplishments, you'll actually get to it and you'll manifest it. You know, so it's like I really believe in sharing the knowledge and sharing the information, because it's like just because you got what I have don't mean you could do what I do. You feel me? And if you can, that means you busted your ass, because I bust my ass every day. And I'm always here to salute that if anybody else is busting their ass. So I'm never here to rob nobody and no information and no knowledge, man. I want to see everybody win, man. Feel me? So like I'm always gonna be here with the knowledge and sharing that. That's my purpose.
That's love. That's love. They saying in the comments, super proud of you for keeping it going. Thank you for allowing to write your story and share it with the Honduran community. We have a question. How do you balance personal and business life? That's what I struggle with. Rock with Finesse asks.
I mean, for me, man, like that's literally a balance, honestly. Time management, I would say, man. Time management. You only got 24 hours in a day, so choose them wisely. Like, unfortunately, I don't play no video games. I don't watch much TV. I literally do my best to solve my problems. Like, we all got work to do. You feel me? We all got things that's not the best or where we would want them. And the longer you don't handle them, is the longer those things sit like that. You feel me? So it's the choice is yours of if you're going to handle that and take care of it, or you're going to let it sit there but still be something, because you can go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep, wake up. That work is still going to be sitting there waiting for you to do it. It's not going to do itself. So when it comes to balancing personal and business, I do put business first. I do put my money first, because that's how I live and that's how I support. And then, you know, everything comes after that. Like, but I make sure I take care of my personal and my downtime. Like those moments when you are sitting and you chilling, that's your personal time. Take care of some of your personal stuff. But those of us that got businesses and that we experiences rushes and busy time, we'll be running around crazy, and it's like I don't got time for nothing else but this. That's your business time. But when you slow back down and you got some quiet, slow moments, take care of your personal with that. Don't just sit around too much, because when it's fast again, you're gonna be like, damn, I can't do the personal things. I can't go wash clothes. I can't clean my crib. I can't go spend time over here. So you got to take your time and manage it correctly. That's the best advice I can give with that.
Wow, that's some really good advice. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Any other like tips or advice that you would like to share, Fresh?
Definitely plenty, man. Always be networking. Like always, I'm a serial networker. Like I tapped into corporate networking. I'm a part of the SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management. Prior to pandemic, I catered their holiday Christmas party 7 years straight at Club 101 on Park Avenue on 42nd Street. Like this is where all the top HR representatives are in New York City. Like we're talking about like the Plaza Hotel, the state courts, like all HR people. The SHRM sets the tone for that. Like, and I met some of the dopest people that have opened doors for me. We talk about me being a felon. Like that means nothing when you bring a value to the table. Like, you feel me? So like a lot of these people have opened doors and put me in position where I can share my talent with their job, their company, their family, their friends. I love doing special moments with people, baby showers. I love when dudes call me up and be like, hey, yo, bro, you could do some chocolate covered strawberries for wifey. I bring it to her job. We could put a surprise note in it. Like Valentine's Day, we do flowers. Like just selling experiences. Like I like to say that I don't sell cupcakes. Like you can get cupcakes 1,000 places in New York City, but people come to me for the experience.
Right.
That's why we sell experiences at Fresh Taste Bakery.
Speaking of which, mentioning that, how do we order from you? Like, where are your products and pastries available?
So y'all could definitely go to freshtastebakery.com. Y'all could Google that. We have an automated website which has like my premium cupcakes, which is my non-alcoholic cupcakes. I got my alcohol-infused ones. We got the signature cookie up there. You can get these about $30 a dozen. We got brownies up there, chocolate covered strawberries. And if you want something custom, because we do cakes, we do offer vegan desserts, we do offer gluten-free, which is hand mixed on separate equipment. We take celiac very serious. Sugar-free. My mother's a diabetic, so I'm tapped into like coconut palm sugar, monk fruit sugar. We ain't dealing with no stevias and none of that artificial stuff. Like, so like you can order through email at info@freshtastebakery.com. You know, share your visions with me. Let's see if we can bring it to life. Like, you know, I don't believe in no limits. Ain't nothing impossible. Is what's the first step to everything.
I love how you emphasize on faith. Like that's
That's
really
carrot cake cookies. They right here.
yeah. About the carrot cake cookies already. I would love to order where you already know where to go. DM them, email them, go to freshtastebakery.com.
And definitely Google me. I got some good articles. I've been in the New York Post, Black Enterprise, um, Good Morning America. Like I've really been working hard to share my story, and God's been working with me. And like I said, opening these doors and put me in these platforms so my voice could be heard, so these youth can see that they got options out here. They not just it ain't gang. It ain't just self destruction, man.
Yeah, you definitely an inspiration, Fresh. Thank you so much for joining us for this live. And I look forward to continuously connecting, learning from you, seeing what you got going on, and trying and experiencing your experiences.
Nah, for sure. Only way up is to the top, man. We ain't stopping, man. This ain't going nowhere. Like I'm locked in.
That's right. All right. Thank you, Fresh. We'll be in
I
touch.
appreciate it. Definitely enjoy your night, all right?
It's
Definitely people. Y'all stay blessed, man. Have a good one.
peace.